It seems like it's been forever since Epic Games revealed Fortnite to the world. The game was revealed way back at the 2011 Spike Video Game Awards, and fans, like myself, were excited to see something different from Epic after their most recent success with the Gears of War franchise. It's taken them 6 years, but the game is finally here. Well, sort of. Fortnite has been released as a paid early access title available on the PC, PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One. The full, official game is expected to release sometime in 2018, when it will be a free-to-play title. Until then, however, you'll have to invest in one of the game's Founders Packs if you want to check it out. So what is Fortnite? Well, it's a combination of a variety of popular genres in gaming. Part zombie survival, part scavenging and building. You could kind of think of it as a combination of Left 4 Dead meets Minecraft. You'll be taking control of the survivor and raiding the world around you for the resources to craft and build everything you need to fend off the waves of the undead. Let's touch on the zombies first. The world of Fortnite paints a lighthearted picture of the zombie apocalypse. Don't get me wrong, they're still here to eat your brains and devour every living thing. It just has more of a cartoony visual style than most other games. You aren't going to see anything that's going to give you nightmares. The undead are coming, and they're spawned courtesy of these strange electrical storms that seem to pop up whenever they want. There are a wide variety of zombie creatures that will come after you, or as they're called in this game, husks, and they range from mindless roamers to former baseball players who chuck bones at you, and even rampaging behemoths that will tear down your defenses. However, before that ever happens, you, and if you're lucky, your team, will have a chance to scavenge the game world for resources in order to build up a base and to defend you and usually an important piece of equipment from the oncoming hordes. If the idea of gathering resources sounds like an immediate turnoff to you, don't let it worry you. It's not nearly as deep as something like a real-time strategy game. In this game, if you need wood, simply use your pickaxe to hack away at anything made of wood. Trees, houses, fences, crates, even a telephone pole. The same thing can be said for the other two primary elements, bricks and metal. For those, you'll want to set your sights on things like stones, statues, cars, and even dumpsters. Nearly everything in the game world is made up of one of these three elements. With these three elements, you have almost everything you need to construct the basic structures necessary for building a base. They can be used to make walls, floors, ceilings, stairs, and some other various physical objects to both hide behind and to hold off the undead. There are other things you'll need as well, smaller, more detailed resources that you'll need to take your building and crafting to the next level. You're going to want to build weapons and traps too, because a pickaxe can only hold off a zombie for so long. To craft these things, you're going to need smaller items, like nuts and bolts, duct tape, and whatever trinkets are described in the blueprints that you find for these items. That's right, blueprints. You need to know how to build something if you're going to make it, so you need to find or earn the blueprints in the game that give you, well, directions of how to do so. Some of these are awarded when you break down a car or house, but a bulk of them will be found simply by searching different containers before you start breaking them apart. Let this be one of the most important tips someone can give you about this game. Everything you build breaks down over time, so you're going to have to make things multiple times. So make sure you're constantly replenishing your stock of parts to repair and rebuild as needed. So search everything. If the prompt to search something comes up, make sure you do it before you break it. This means you'll be searching desks, trash bags, dumpsters, dressers, beds, mailboxes, refrigerators, tables, cardboard boxes. Hell, even search through bushes and shrubs. You'll find stuff everywhere. And not only just the parts you need for building, but other things such as ammunition and maybe even whole weapons themselves. Once you have a good pool of these parts, then the fun begins. You can deck out your base with all sorts of traps on the walls, ceilings, floors. You can even arm up your character to the T with tons of different weapons. Machine guns, pistols, shotguns, sniper rifles, swords, clubs, grenades, sticks of dynamite. There are all sorts of things, and you'll find blueprints of each type at varying rarities throughout the world. Obviously, the more rare a blueprint is, the better quality the resulting weapon will be. Now, Fortnite does a great job of balancing out these two elements, giving you ample time to stock up and construct before the waves of the undead begin. This is possible because each match kind of plays out like a mini mission. You have a period of time to prepare before you trigger the storm that begins spawning the undead. This works a lot better when you team up with a group of players rather than going out alone, so you definitely want to bring along a friend or 3 when you venture out. So you know how it works, but how does it play? Well, pretty well actually, especially given the improvements that the game has seen over the past couple weeks. Epic has done a great job of consistently updating the game and addressing issues and problems players have been running into. And trust me, there have been more than a few. This is an early access game, and upon the initial launch, there were quite a few problems that reared their ugly heads. Frequent disconnects, some frustrating control and interface options. It got to the point where it was pretty much too frustrating to play at times. However, it was never more than a day or two before a new patch was available and those things were addressed. The game you'll log on and play today is vastly different than the game you would have experienced when it launched just a few weeks ago. Gameplay isn't an issue with Fortnite, content is. And that isn't because of a lack of stuff to do in the game. The fact is, there's so much stuff in here, it's a bit overwhelming. The gameplay I described before is just one part, although the main part of the game. There's so much more to do though. You have the ability to collect and set up defenders and recon teams for your base, you can fill up the game's collection book, you can purchase nodes in the various skill trees, there's crafting and recycling of blueprints, leveling of all your weapons, traps, and different character classes. It seems like it never ends. There's just an insane amount of things to do, and honestly, they aren't all explained in the best manner. You're given a brief introduction to most of these things, usually in the form of a tutorial-like mission. Once you do that, however, you're left to dig deeper on your own, and that can be overwhelming. Although a lot of content is a good thing, too much without a proper explanation isn't, and this is one place that I definitely think the game needs some improvement over the next few months. The truth is, I really like Fortnite. In fact, I really want to love it. However, I just can't bring myself to do so at this time. That hasn't destroyed my hope though. In the few short weeks since the game's first launch into early access, there's been a steady flow of improvements and updates rolling out. It seems like every time I log in, there's some sort of patch or fix to be added to the game. With this trend and at the rate things are being addressed, I have no doubt the game is going to be great by the time it officially launches next year. Until then, know that you're going to run into some hiccups along the way, but trust me, you're going to have a great time doing so. Hopefully you'll check into the game, and I'll see you out there in the storm.